I was going to say this. Do you feel a sense of responsibility being in that industry? Like, do you feel it's like your cause to try and direct, as much as you can, Allah facilitate and Allah give you tawfiq?
Yeah. Honestly, for me, as I said in the beginning, every day, when I think to myself, I literally just go through this motion every day. That's it, I'm done. I'm going back. And what happens is then something just happens in a weird way, and it's like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most just and the most kind, and I feel that it is my duty, inshallah, to give the Muslims an option. And ultimately the goal is that get rid of minor sheets as well, and just listen to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the kind of the best thing to listen to, right? But unfortunately we live in a time where people are consumed by music, movies, games and everything, and I believe that we Muslims should start respecting art. And when we start respecting art and investing in it, we will see that we will be able to change a demo. Look at this kind of thing that people watch now about this.
Vertigo.
Yeah, I don't watch it because there's music in it. That's quite basic with that, and it's also got subtitles. I've got no time to read that. But lots of Muslims love that, right?
Listen to that, Mr. Cameraman.
It's a big thing, man.
Yeah, people love it. Yeah, people love it. Now imagine if we had more shows like that without the kind of the instrument aspect. What kind of influence people have,
You know, I mean, I remember Sheikh Haytham once said in a program, I think you were there, he goes, bros, I don't want you all to become just mini copies of Sheikh Haytham. I.e. Dawah needs to be dynamic. You need people in arts, you need people, Muslim comedians or filmmakers or all this type of stuff. That's why I really kind of I don't want to say this to your face, but anyone, to all the haters, you need to realize that the Dawah is not just one dimension. You have to have people involved in arts. You have to have people involved in
bakery,
writing novels, not baking cakes, maybe, I don't know, but get a shout out to your favorite pastime there. But we need the big budget blockbuster films.
Yeah, we do, because look, if we have aspirations, inshallah, that we will see a time when Allah Azza wa Jall's law is implemented in a way that it facilitates His justice. Then for people, let's be honest, not everyone's going to suddenly switch off from their everyday lives and become people who are only worshipping Allah, only going to the masjid, only reading Quran. There is a void that's going to be there. And how do we actually cater for people? Islam has a rich history of the arts. If we talk about calligraphy and even the arts in terms of painting and mashallah, beautiful building. But there's also in history in terms of entertainment. And it's finding that space in a halal way that we can entertain people. Sheikh gives us examples of weddings. Like sometimes if you go to like an up-now wedding, honestly, it's pretty depressing, isn't it? Yeah. It's either going to be very depressing or there's going to be some
disco going on.
Exactly, disco, shishko.
We don't do like half. We don't do like half measures.
Yeah, no, we don't.
We don't do like moderation. We're either complete jahil or have no fun at all.
Yeah, but
just eat and leave.
How do we find that balance? And it's good because I think you're kind of that tipping point where the Muslim community is growing, it's finding its feet as well, and trying to find its space in a halal way. Yeah. And people make some mistakes along the way, but as long as we're understanding of that and we understand where we're going to, then we as a community need to invest really,
absolutely,
in these spaces, in the social sciences, in the arts, etc. Because when you
always reminds me of Hassan ibn Thabit radiallahu anh. You know, he is well known as he was the poet of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you know he wasn't like a fighter. They said even when he would hold a sword, his hand would shake. You know, but that doesn't mean he wasn't used. His talent or his calling was in poetry, in countering the Qurayshi propaganda against Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet sallallahu would say to him, stand and Jibreel is standing with you. Subhanallah. Go, Jibreel is standing with you, recite your poetry. And that, I mean, I'm not saying like you're the same as him, but that's someone you can aspire to.
Yeah, of course.
That's like a role model. If you're a bit tough and you're a fighter or whatever, you can aspire to Khalid bin Walid. If you're a businessman, you can aspire to Uthman ibn Affan. If you're a creative type of person, you can aspire to Hassan ibn Thabit radiallahu anh. That was his part. That was his role in the.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, and I think
that's worse than saying jihad. Just cut that out. That was his role in the jihad.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, even if you think now about comedians, their ability to give across a message is unequaled when it comes now. We sometimes put somebody who's a scholar or someone who's a community spokesman, right? And whereas you have a comedian and they can deliver that message in a much better way to a non-Muslim audience about some very hard-hitting topics.
Yeah.
You know, and that delivery, you know,
we need
it's a gap.
Principled Muslim celebs, basically. You know, like I was talking to another brother, a sheikh, and we were discussing Muhammad Ali, rahimahullah, how he had cultural capital. Professor Sherman Jackson said about him. I think he did the speech on his janazah. He was someone who, you know, he impacted so many people, you know, because of his fame, because of his personality and his work. They said anywhere in the world you drop him, people would recognize him as the most recognizable character.
He's an icon.
He was an icon. Yeah.
And you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to spread the deen, or the you know, public appearance of the deen through people like him. He had, and arguably he did maybe more work for Allah's deen than maybe a lot of people who are maybe doing something what they think is a rigid kind of understanding of da'wah.
Absolutely.
Not to put them down or anything. Everything is important, but
of course, I agree with you. I think everyone's got their place. I always say to people when I go to events, I say, look, you as a Muslim have a duty. Whatever you do, you're a lawyer. You have a duty for your da'wah is through your work, through your actions,
Free
through
your,
yeah, alhamdulillah. So anything that you do, and I said, look, I'm standing here right now, and my duty is to give you, your children, and everybody an option, inshallah, that you can say, we don't have to listen to music. We can listen to this brother, and you know, and that's the kind of aspect. And all the brothers who do music, they're so talented, mashallah, tabarakallah, right? And the love that I have for them is genuinely that I wish that we could all work together. I wish that we could create a kind of a nasheed chart system where we're competing with each other, because I believe competition is important. Okay. So, you know, coming together, and we can create such an industry that then automatically the non-Muslims will be like, what are these guys like? This is we need to be involved in this, you know. And that's what always happens when something becomes successful. Then everyone wants to be involved, but it will only be successful if we do it, one, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we stick to our principles, man. We don't follow our own desires. You know, I want to go out to music every day. I say to people, but I'm fighting it. You know, tomorrow's another day. But I'm fighting it, you know.
I say, Sheikh says, you know, a lot of people jump on the boat when it's already sailing, but only a few people will be the ones pushing it out.
Yeah.